Okay, we're finally live. Oh, wow. That took a long time. Welcome. Sorry it took me so long to get in. For some reason, it just kept loading. Welcome to our Thursday night chat. I'm your host, Ruth Agbeloso, and of course, this is Women's Financial Empowerment Group. As you come in, if you could please hit that like button and subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. That would be so helpful to my channel. As you may or may not know, every Thursday night we've been having a book chat, and we are doing the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Welcome. We had some technical difficulties getting on. It just was loading so slowly, but I want you to know I appreciate you hanging in there. Please, as you come on, hit the like button, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and enjoy, participate. It's good to have you on. I know that somebody else was trying to get on and not really sure. Let me just send a message. Let's see. Yeah. Sometimes when we get on, YouTube goes a little bit slow loading. I'm not really sure why the live stream goes slow sometimes. But anyway, we're about to get started. Welcome. Please feel free to comment in the chat your names. I could give you a shout out, or just so I can know who's on. And like this video, please. That way it helps the channel to be seen, because if not, then it just goes into the abyss of YouTube and nobody even gets to see it. Doesn't show up. All right, so we're live on Facebook and we're live here in YouTube. And it's good to have you on. If you missed what I said before, we usually have these Thursday night live chats. And the book that we're doing right now is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. So if you don't have the book, I would suggest you get the book, because it's a pretty good book. I can't say that I agree with every single thing in it 100%, but honestly, I don't believe that you have to agree with everything an author says in order to get something from the book. It seems as though the connection is slow or something. If you can see me or hear me, please comment or send me a message. I know some people prefer to Facebook message me if there's a problem, but however, just let me know, because it looks like there's some sort of hesitation there. All right, so I was waiting for some of my usuals to get on, but they may be having some technical difficulties themselves, so I don't really want to hold things up. It's already after 9, and I try not to go too long with the chat. Where are we? Okay, yeah. All right, so tonight we're going to be discussing steps 8 through 12. And if you don't know what steps 8 through 12 are, they're the steps towards riches. So there are, let me make sure I'm not saying the wrong thing, because I sometimes make a mistake. Okay, so there are, let's see. Oh, hi, Lane. Welcome. Thanks for coming on. Good to know that you're there. Did you have a good day today? I'm just here looking at the steps. I think it's 12 steps, right? Yeah, 11, 12. Yeah, well, anyway, I do have notes. I don't even know why I'm looking at that. But yeah, we're just discussing steps 8 through 12 tonight. Chapters. And the reason why I have to look over here is because I didn't write down the chapter numbers in my note. I don't have the chapter numbers in my notes. I have the titles of the steps. So that can get kind of confusing, I think. And I didn't realize that until now. So, oh yeah, so we're starting at chapter 9 tonight, and we're going to chapter 12. And that is step 11. Sorry. So up to step 11. Okay. All right. So we're all set. Okay. Lane says, yes, it was a good day. Awesome. I'm glad you had a good day. The weather was awesome where we are. How was it where you are? Again, if you're just coming on, my name is Ruth, and this is our live book chat that we have on Thursdays. And I'm glad that you're here. Please like this video and share it and subscribe. Beautifully chilly. What? We had nice, perfect, warm weather today. It was perfect. It was wonderful. It was so wonderful. But chilly, I guess, is not all that bad either. All right, it's nice to have a high of around 66. Wow, we had a high of around 80 today. So we had a little bit of heat. But thank God it was nice. It was bearable. We had nice breezes. Perfect weather, honestly, for me. But thank you so much for getting on, Lane. We're already running late, and I noticed that there's a little bit of a lag. Do you see it on your side? Lane says, oh, I hope for that one more time before true fall hits. Yeah, it'd be nice. But I feel like we have to enjoy whatever we have now because it's going to get cold soon. All right, so I noticed that there's somewhat of a delay. So again, if there's a whole portion where you can't hear me or something's going on, please reach out to me and let me know, either on Facebook Messenger or here on YouTube. After comments, it lags for a second. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on tonight. It took me a long time to even get on, which is annoying. So I appreciate you coming. Sorry for the delay. Go ahead and get started. And we're going to talk about persistence. Again, if you haven't liked this video yet, please like the video. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, because that really helps the channel. All right, so Napoleon talks about persistence and necessary if you want to achieve something. So I'm going to just read from my notes a little bit, and please feel free to share in the chat whatever you've got from this or any questions you have. And again, sorry if there's a little bit of a delay on YouTube. I'm not really sure what's going on. On Facebook, everything seems to be okay as far as I can tell. All right, lack of persistence is one of the major causes of failure. And I will link below after the video where I've gotten some of my notes from. So I took notes, and I also got notes from someone else. Okay, so I'll link his information in the description so I can give him some credit. I don't remember his name off the top of my head right now. All right, lack of persistence is one of the major causes of failure. If you recall, we talked about a whole list of. Oh, Lane says, oh, I see it now. It's much better than last week. Really? Wow. Okay. We talked about a whole list of possible causes of failure. I think that was last week or the week before. In any event, persistence is one of the major causes of failure, according to the writer. It can be conquered, but this depends entirely upon the intensity of one's desire. Weak desires bring weak results. I mean, I think that makes total sense. The basis of persistence is the power of will, and it's also influenced by other factors such as definiteness of purpose. Why can't I say that word? Self-reliance, definiteness of plans. Remember, you want to make specific plans, name everything. Cooperation and habits. And I remember the writer mentioned Gandhi, how persistent he was to achieve the things that he set out to achieve. And we can see from historical accounts that, he really did persist with what he wanted to see come forth, with people working together peacefully and whatnot. So he's a great example of that. He also mentioned other people like Henry Ford. He mentioned Henry. I think part of the reason why is because Henry, with very humble beginnings, not being well educated, poor. I don't like that word, poor. Not having the financial means or what have you, but he had a dream, he had a desire, and he was able to see that desire all the way to the end. And of course, because of him, we have all these cars that are rolling around. So we're grateful that he was persistent. His persistence definitely paid off. All right, which of the aforementioned factors are you lacking? Which might be hindering your persistence? So is it definiteness of purpose, self-reliance, definiteness of plans, accurate knowledge, cooperation, or habits? And you can feel free to share in the comments. I know for me, I've struggled with definiteness of plans. Like, there have been times when I want to get certain things done, but it's not set up right, not clear. And as a result, what I tried to do did not work out very well. Okay, Lane says, okay, self-reliance. That's like self-motivation, right? Yes, it's very similar to self-motivation. Self-reliance is, I guess, relying on your own strength to get something done. I shouldn't use the word relying to explain relying, but depending on your own self to get something done, as opposed to depending on somebody else to get something done. Hopefully that's the right definition. That's what I believe it means. So if you feel like that's something that's lacking, then that's definitely something that any of this is something that dooms you to forever failure. Everything that we're talking about in the book, that he mentions in the book, I believe you can work on. All right. On the contrary, lack of persistence begets the following systems. So if you're not persistent, procrastination, lack of interest, self-satisfaction, indifference, weakness of desire, willingness to quit, lack of organized plan. And I already shared with you the lack of organized plan is something that I've struggled with in the past. And I'm not going to say I've totally conquered that. That's something that I still have to work on really hard. Lane says it sounded like it from the book, but my plans aren't always planned out well either. Okay. Yeah. I think it's totally normal, but again, there's room for improvement. You know, we're all human and we're learning as we go. We learn from our mistakes, hopefully. And I think one of the things that I've thought about when it comes to not having a definiteness of plans is, okay, what was the result? Did I get what I wanted as a result of not having a clear plan? Did it? Okay. So maybe I got to plan to point B, but did I go through unnecessary struggles to get to point B because I didn't have a solid plan? And I could tell you that has happened to me many times where I've got to point B, but I went through unnecessary pain because I wasn't planning properly. Lane says, we'll never be perfect. We can only strive for perfection. True. And in our striving for perfection we're just getting better. We're using the knowledge that we learn along the way while we mistakes or what have you to make us better. You know, and that's how I believe. You just better and better as you just keep working on yourself. That's all. Yeah, that's all we can do is just work on getting better. Okay? So if we're not persistent, it leads to things that I mentioned. Procrastination has been something that I've worked on and still continue to work on, procrastinating and lack of organized plans. Got to work on those things. Okay. Lane, do you have anything else, or anyone else watching, do you have anything else to contribute as far as this step, which is persistence? I don't want to run through too quick and not allow you to. I think this one was pretty straightforward. All right, the next one is, okay, so we're going to move on to chapter 10. And we're talking about, boy, I wanted to look at something. Okay, so we're talking power of the mastermind in this step. So step 9 is the driving force. So if you want to share what you got out of it, out of the mastermind, the driving force, please go ahead. I'm going to share what I got, obviously, from it. So first of all, the driving force. A mastermind is having a team of people in place. And of course, we talked in a previous chapter about mastermind, or at least he mentioned it, even if we didn't mention it on the live, because I don't think I mentioned it. A mastermind is having a team of people in place whose job it is to help you succeed and carry out your plans. I really did not know the benefits of having a team until I started this role of being a financial coach. That's when I found out the benefit of having a team. And I definitely have a team that helps me with different aspects. And I'm really appreciative for that. All right. Who could be, so here's a thought question for you. Who could be in your team and how could you form one in the next 30 days? So if there's something that you really want to achieve, think about who could be a part of your team and how could you form that team in the next 30 days? So it doesn't have to necessarily be like starting a business or what have you, but there's so many different things that you might want to work on. And if you have a team, it'll make it go more smoothly, faster, what have you. So just something to think about. Nobody can acquire great power and succeed without the power of a mastermind. So that's according to the author. No two minds ever come together without thereby creating a third, invisible, intangible force, which may be likened to a third mind. That's what he says. But I do believe that when we come together, it's just different. Like, have you ever had an idea and you told it to someone else and you're just discussing and they kind of add their bit? Helene says, train my children up in the way they should go, my way. Seriously, though. There's another mom living with me right now, and it's amazing what we can get accomplished in a day. Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, if you're able to work together, it makes a big difference. I know a lot of times when people get together in groups, whether it be on the job or in events or what have you, there's bickering and there's, we've had big events, Lane, right? And, sometimes people, get in their feelings about certain things, whether it be the food prep or, whatever it is. So, but when people work together and come up with a solid plan and they work it through together, it makes a big difference. The goal of a mastermind is to convert knowledge into power by organizing it into definite plans and then translating plans into actions. Into action. All right. I further noted here that plans are useless with the power. Sorry, I wrote it wrong. Oh my gosh. We butt heads not like with my sister Sarah though at big groups. Yeah, it's very common that people butt heads in big groups, honestly. It's not it's not very strange, William. All right. What I have here, a quote from the author is, plans are useless without the power to translate them into action. So I think this is a good point, because if you have your plan and you do nothing with it, you don't have what it takes to actually follow it through. Like, what's the point? What is the point having a plan when you do nothing with it? So the point is to make sure that you have a plan of action and then you execute it. Power is organized and intelligently directed knowledge. So that's what power is. And it's organized effort. Well, we talked about that already with the mastermind of two or more people working together. Power is needed to obtain money. Some type of power, I guess. All right. Why make a blueprint? Elaine says, why make a blueprint if you can't build a house or know someone who can? Yeah, like it's a waste. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy if you're going to have this plan and do nothing with it. And I think that's where persistence comes in. You have to be persistent to see your plan through to the end, to the action phase. Never even make it to the planning phase because they don't have that persistence to even get that far. So that's what the author talks about. All right. It is, Lord, I like how I write notes and then I can't read my notes. And then I'm like looking like, can someone help me? But there's no one to help me read my own notes. All right. I should just type them up. That's what I need. That's what needed to be a part of my plan, is to actually type notes instead of writing them. Because I always have the struggle. I can't read my handwriting. Okay. So let's see. Where else do I want to go with this? Do you have anything else to add about the mastermind? I think it's great. I think it's powerful. So it says, maybe you should make a plan to have better handwriting. Oh, honey, I have tried that. I mean, I just, I don't know. I don't know what happened. I've tried. It actually, no, I can write better, but for some reason, when I write notes, it always looks like chicken scratch. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna work on it. Yeah, I think I should try again. Try again with that one. I think I write like a doctor. Not really. Anyway, so I like how he talked about Ford again and talked about how he worked with other people to be able to pull off, what he had done with, making the cars and whatnot. Because his story is really great. Like I think if you have time to read up on Ford, I mean, I wouldn't say that he's my hero or anything, but I said this in the beginning that we don't necessarily have to agree with everything. I don't feel like let me speak for myself, have to agree with everything that everyone says in their books for me to get something out of it. And I don't have to necessarily like Ford himself completely to get something out of the life that he lived and the example that he set with using the resources of other people that had the knowledge, using that resource together to accomplish what he had. I think that is brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And I think we can learn something from that. And I've learned something from that. And I'm always seeing myself as a humble little child wanting to learn more and looking up to others for knowledge, by way of reading books or what have you, attending classes, summits, seminars, whatever, because I just want to soak up that knowledge. And I could sit in the corner and just be like, I know everything, I can do everything, but having others to kind of ask questions and bounce ideas off of has really been great for me. So when the author talks about all of that, that really resonates with me. They say no man is an island, no man stands alone. You can stand alone and you can achieve some stuff on your own, but I think it's better when you're able to do things with someone else, someone in your corner to support you. Wouldn't you agree? All right. Facebook, I hope you don't feel neglected. I realize that I'm not really looking at that camera a whole lot tonight. But yes, please forgive me. I'm going to look at that camera a little bit more than I have been. Okay, please comment if you have any questions, like this video, all that good stuff. I am going to move on to the next step. Elaine says, yes, support is key. It really is, honestly. I could say, oh, I've achieved all this stuff, but honestly, I didn't do it alone. I didn't do anything alone. And all the greats that we hear about, they all had somebody that they were able to, they all had a person or persons in their court that they were able to get together with, share ideas or something. No one did it 100% by themselves. Or I shouldn't say no one. No one that I know of, because I don't know about everybody, has done it by themselves. So, with that being said, I'm going to move on to the next step, step 10. And please, if you read this book, go ahead and share your ideas about step 10, because step 10 was really, really new to me. I mean, a lot of these concepts were new to me before I read the book, but step 10, that was a doozy. And if you don't have the book yet, it's, what are we reading? Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And step 10, if you know what step 10 is, type it in the comments. I don't know why I'm smiling and laughing about that. It's not funny. It just caught me off guard, because it just caught me off guard. His point of view regarding this subject. So the next chapter was the mystery of sex transmutation, the 10th step toward riches. That's what it was. So feel free to chime in if you read this. If because I thought it was interesting. Honestly, when he first started to explain, I was thinking, yeah, he really just wrote this book for men, because he just spoke to men. And I get that throughout this whole book. But then he mentioned women, like, oh, and this can go for women too. So Lane says, I think maybe there's more than one version. I don't remember all this talk of Ford, but I do recall his thing, President Eisenhower. Okay. I don't know if this is another version. It could be. Do you remember the transmutation of sex? Sex transmutation. Well, same thing, just worded different. Did you remember reading about that? This is the original classic version, so the newer version that I don't know about. Okay. So if you did read it, and it does talk about the mystery of sex transmutation, no, I think I would remember that. It's a weird word. Okay. So you didn't read that in your version. So I'm going to do my best to relay my notes and the other printed notes that I have here, and let's see if we can make sense of what he was trying to say. So he says the mystery of transmutation, no, of sex transmutation. Oh my gosh. Transmutation is when you change one element or form of energy into another. That's what transmutation is. Well, I'm learning from you reading him anyway. Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. So transmutation, let me slow down, is changing one element or form of energy into another. So emotion, so another emotion of sex. So sex is an emotion, as he says. So you're using that for something else, that emotion. Okay, so let's see. I'm just going to try to go through my notes here. Converting sex into a highly creative outlet. So he's saying that if you use that urge, that sexual emotion, because that's what he calls it, a sexual emotion, in the right way, it's going to lead towards creativity. And not just for men, but also for women. And he also went into an explanation, like if you castrate animal and how they become docile and they're not really like go-getters anymore or what have you. So that motivation of sex kind of leads to creativity. That's what he's saying. So whether you agree with him or not, that's on you, but I'm just reading the book. Anyway, sex has 3 constructive potentialities. Okay, according to our author: perpetuation of mankind, maintenance of health, and transformation of mediocrity into genius through transmutation. Okay, remember again, transmutation is changing one element or form of energy into another. So that sexual drive, putting it into creativity, creating something, doing something, makes it a good thing. So it's not just about. So for him, he's saying that that sexual urge is a normal thing. It's a natural thing, and when used the right way, it can accomplish great things. Well, yes, it can accomplish great things like little boys and girls or pleasure or whatever. Let's not say those are not great things. But he did mention perpetuation of mankind, maintenance of health. I mean, that's what he says, maintenance of health. Just keeping it rated PG here, people. I'm not going to go into my little side jokes. But anyway, so he says that using that energy can really accomplish a lot if you use it in the right way. The desire for sex is the most powerful human desire. Uh, the desire of sex is the most powerful of human desires. Its motivating force brings keenness of imagination, courage, willpower, persistence, and creative ability unknown to people at other times. I really didn't know it was all of that, but good thing I read the book. All right. Sex transmutation, I have here switching of the individual from thoughts of physical expression to thoughts of other nature, of some other nature. All right, sexual drive. Sexual drive. Okay, before I get to that, when harnessed, so when you're able to control it, it can be used to be creative and can lead to acquiring of money. So that's the basic summation of everything. Sex alteration takes away creativity. That's what he says. I trust me, I went through this chapter more than one time to really get the full gist of it. It's interesting. That's what I would say. Go ahead and comment what you think. You don't have to love it. It's just his writing. All right, sexual drive. The thoughts of physical expression can be transmuted into highly creative and productive outlets, used as a success, or, of course, the accumulation of riches, which is what I said before, but I kind of put it in my own words. It requires the exercise of willpower, but the reward is worth the effort. So this is a different type of willpower, right? All right, sex alter. Okay, I read that already. Okay, then he talks about, in this chapter, he talks about genius. Okay, I like this word genius. Most of us are not geniuses, even though we may think we are. According to him, genius, Napoleon Hill, by the way, genius is developed through the sixth sense, which is the creative imagination. The mind is vibrating beyond an individual's conscious mind. For example, your conscience. So he recommends closing your eyes may allow you to tap into your creative imagination. So if you close your mind and focus and think about something that you want to do, you want to accomplish, you see it vividly in your mind when you close your eyes and focus on it, and then you can do it. So I think he has a point there. I definitely know that when I focus on something and I kind of like concentrate on it, I can see it in my head. And whether I can do it in real life or not, that's another story. Like my drawing abilities are wonderful in my head. I imagine myself painting like beautiful pictures and all that stuff. Um, I've never been able to see anything in my head, Lane says. Oh, well, maybe if you close your eyes and focus without the kids around, you might be able to think a little bit, because I can't think about anything when when kids are making noise in my ear or somebody else. I think part of it requires you separating yourself. I think we read that in a previous chapter. Being able to concentrate, being able to focus is very important to achieving whatever it is you want to achieve. and it makes sense because you need to have a clear mind to be able to think. And even those of you who may be like Christians or any type of religious persons or whatever, they talk about meditating and all that stuff. So if you're able to really focus, then you can think about whatever it is you want to think about. I would try, but that's from a very early age. Oh, oh, that's funny. I can't help you with that one. um, and then, okay, so you said that there's nothing, you don't see anything in your mind, and there's some of us that have too many things in our mind. So I don't know. Sometimes I'm not sure about that, but um, but I have seen where I have a plan and I close my eyes and I really think about it. I can really see it. And the problem is if I don't like get up and write down what comes to my mind, then I lose it. Like I have to like immediately write notes. I have to get up and write notes immediately. There have been times when I just grab my cell phone, like if it's nighttime and it's dark and I don't want to turn on the light, just grab my phone and use the speaking text, voice texting capability, and I will just talk my notes just to have them. Because once I get up or whatever, I'm not going to have that full. I might remember some of it, but I won't have like a full picture of what it is that I was trying to do in my mind that I thought would be nice outside of my mind. So I think he makes some good points. Honestly, you can take some things and leave some things, or what have you, whatever you want. All right, we're gonna move on to step 11. So hopefully you have the same thing in your book. I didn't realize you had a different version than I do, Lane. But and that's the thing with books, sometimes there's several different versions, but hopefully we can still get something good out of it. So the next chapter. Oh, I should also mention that he said he was talking about why men seldom for 40. I figured I wouldn't get too much into that because I'm really speaking to women. So, but I feel though that life began for me at 40, like really began. I feel like I really took charge at 40, but I know a lot of people much younger than me that took charge. So Lane says, I've just found a free PDF download, so I'm kind of skimming it now. Okay, good. So that's a good idea. And I am, and you've got your life all figured out and whatever. I'm over 40, and man, I felt like something switched on when I turned 40. Like there was like a newness and a vibrancy that came over me. So it's wonderful. So I think that it's not just for men. I think it can be that way for women as well. But I didn't want to dwell on that, so I didn't bother to take notes about that. All right, moving on to chapter 12, the subconscious mind. And he talks about the connecting link is the 11th step towards riches. So we're going to talk for a little bit about the conscious mind. Okay. The subconscious. Sorry, I said the conscious mind. I meant the subconscious mind. Okay. The subconscious mind is the connecting link between the finite mind of a human and infinite intelligence. That's what he says. The subconscious mind can be used as a medium for transmuting. Remember that word transmuting? So you're changing something. So again, that's changing one element or form of energy from one thing to another, right? So let's see. Subconscious mind can be used as a medium for transmuting your desires into it. What? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm reading wrong. My eyes went over the wrong line. Okay, the subconscious mind can be used as a medium for transmuting your desires into their physical or monetary equivalent. However, if you fail to plant your own desires into it, as a result of your neglect, it will feed upon any thoughts that reach it. So in other words, your subconscious mind is influenced by what you put in your mind. I, for instance, repeat positive affirmations every morning. I cannot 100% control my subconscious mind, and that's what he even says. But I can give my mind something to think about. A lot of us also read scriptures and, books, whatever. And so if we put those positive things that we want into our mind, then our minds will reflect on that. Likewise, if we put negative things in there, we make those negative things the focus, that's what our mind is going to recycle over and over. So, I could definitely agree with him on that point. If you neglect to put positive things in there, you're just opening it up for the negative. You have to be purposeful about getting the positive in there, because our minds could just go all over the place, and if we don't take charge of it, then we're gone, especially for women. So I'm going to stop here and just give an admonition for us as women, that we need to start telling ourselves who we believe we are, or who we want to believe we are, because there's going to be other voices that are going to tell us, or thoughts that are going to try to push out the positive. So for instance, I hear a lot of women saying, I'm so fat, or I'm short, or I'm lazy, or I don't know, I'm broke, or anything like that. But honestly, if you keep telling yourself that, you are going to be in that stage, and you're never going to get out of that stage. But when you start telling yourself things like, I'm beautiful, I make things happen in my life, I win at whatever I put my mind to do, I am a daughter of the king, you start to be intentional about the thoughts that you're putting into your mind, then you start to see your life change as you consistently say those things. Your subconscious feeds on that, and that's what comes out of you. But once you're not intentional, what comes out of you is, I'm fat, I'm broke, I don't know how to handle my money, whatever, I don't have an education, I'm stupid, like things like that. Garbage is what I call it. And unfortunately, we all have garbage. So, or maybe I shouldn't say we all, let me not make that generalization. Many people have garbage. So we need to clear out that garbage by putting in positive affirmations, positive words to meditate on. All right, moving right on. To gain control over your subconscious mind, form the habit of applying and using to your advantage the following 7 major positive emotions. Are we ready? Desire, faith, love, sex, enthusiasm, romance, hope. So those are the 7 major positive emotions that he's saying we need to form the habit of applying and using to our advantage. I'm not sure if we can use all of this, to be honest, but I'm not going to argue with him. I'm not going to argue with the book. But again, like I said, feeding your subconscious mind with positive things is important. Please share in the comments how you've done this, or how you're focusing on any of these to help your subconscious mind be more positive, or to gain control of your subconscious mind. One of the things that okay, let me read this part first and then I'll share something. Lane says, never argue with the expert. Yeah, I won't argue with them because I'm definitely no expert. But yeah, I'll just leave it like that. Okay. The mere presence of a single negative emotion in your conscious mind might be sufficient to destroy all chances of constructive aid from your subconscious mind. Can you just imagine that? Just one negative emotion. The 7 major negative emotions to avoid are fear, jealousy, hatred, revenge, greed, superstition, and anger. That's what he says. And I think that, first of all, I forgot what the point was that I was going to make, but that's okay. It might come back out in the whole scheme of things. But I do believe it's true when when we focus on fear. I'm too scared to try. If we say I'm too scared to try to do that, just putting that in our mind, then our subconscious mind will always tell us, you're too scared to do that. You can't do that. I know I've had that in my life where fear had gripped me so much that I was too afraid to try and go after my dreams and everything like that. So fear is definitely a powerful emotion. Like he says, jealousy, hatred, I tell you, those things are really, it's so funny because it seems almost like the negative is stronger than the positive. But I guess what he's trying to say is make the positive more strong by putting that in the forefront of your mind and focusing on that. Eventually, the positive emotions will dominate your mind completely so that the negative ones cannot enter. Again, my advice would be positive affirmations. What do you say to yourself every single morning? I don't do it now, but I think I will do it at some point. I used to do index cards, where I would write my affirmations and stick them up by my bathroom mirror. I don't do that anymore. I have a wall that I use for affirmations, a wall in my office area. But I used to do it by the bathroom. I need to start positive affirmation. Yes, Lane, go ahead and start. Start with the most simple things to counteract the negative thoughts. So, for instance, and this probably doesn't apply to you, so it's just a general thing I'm saying. If you say, oh, I'm such a spendthrift, instead you can write down, I make good choices with how I spend my money. And it may not be a reality right now, but let me tell you, if you keep saying that to yourself over and over, it's going to become a reality because it's going to be behind your head and it's going to be in your subconscious. So that when you're about to spend frivolously, you're like, oh no, I make good choices with my money. It's just going to come out of you. Trust me. I've done it. And at first it's not reality until you practice it over and over. Then it becomes a part of your makeup. And then you're like, wow, I didn't even realize that I stopped doing XYZ. But it just becomes a part of you because it's what you tell yourself that makes a big difference. And as a financial coach, as an financial empowerment coach, my job is to help. One of my roles is to help women adopt those positive phrases to help them get out of the rut that they're in, that negative way of doing things. Because you can't change what you're doing by doing the same things over and over. You got to change somewhere. You got to put I forgot the word, but you got to put what do you call it? Put something in the way to stop that train, or else it will just keep going. So I definitely recommend everyone to start doing positive affirmations because I really believe it's important. And again, if there's any area that you struggle with, or I shouldn't even say if there's any area, because we all struggle with something, whatever your areas are that you've been negative with yourself, or you want to accomplish something, in a certain area. Okay, so it's saying, please wait while we reconnect. So sorry about that. Hopefully you can hear me, but if not, we'll be back in a second. Anyway, if there's any area, sorry about that, internet cut a little bit. If there's an area where you are working on, just write that out in a positive statement to yourself that you can repeat over and over. Put it someplace where you see it on a regular basis, in your car, by your bathroom mirror, in your kitchen, wherever you hang out, wherever you're going to see it, and repeat those things over and over. Trust me, it's transformative. It really changes your mind. You're reprogramming yourself, and it's cool. You know, I think it's wonderful that we have that power, but a lot of times we don't tap into that power that we have to really recondition our mind. All right, so that is the end of step 11. And we're going to wrap up with step. Feel free to comment, like this video, share it, and subscribe if you're not subscribed, because that will really help this channel. Please, if you don't have a friend that's watching these videos, please invite your friend to watch with you or watch on their own or what have you. Sorry, I'm like blocking the camera. Wow, that was really impolite. Sorry about that. So we're going to do our last step, which is, wait a minute. Where am I? Oh, that was our last one. That was our last one for tonight. I just realized that. Okay. So the next one I have, that's for next week. So that was our last step tonight. How was that? Did you like those things that he shared in those chapters? Was there anything that really resonated with you? Sorry. You know, feel free to share it in the chat. We're gonna get ready to close in like a minute or two, but I want to give this opportunity if anybody wants to share anything. And for I have an announcement too. So go ahead and share, and I will make an announcement while you're typing in the chat. So next week, excuse me, we're going to delve into chapter 13, 14, and 15. And that will be the end of this book. It's going to deal with those three, 13, 14, 15, yeah, those three chapters. And then this will be our that will actually be our last live chat for now. So we're going to put the pause on the live chat sessions, which kind of sad because we've been having a wonderful time, but I'm going to just put the brakes on it for now, and I will make an announcement of when we'll do them again. But for right now, we're not going to do the live chats after next week. So next week will be the last until sometime in the future, God willing. Have you. So just stick around. If you're new here, please go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Hey, Lane, hit that notification bell so you'll know when I upload a video to my channel. Because unless you hit that notification bell, you won't know. Because YouTube probably won't tell you. And even when you do hit it, sometimes they don't tell you. It's kind of weird how that works. Sometimes it's kind of messed up. If you liked my Facebook page, go ahead and hit follow so that you can know when I'm doing a live video there. Like today I did a live video on, or if I post something, which I usually Facebook page. So yeah, follow me everywhere. I'm also on Twitter, and I post there at times. Lane says, we'll do notification bell. Awesome. Yes. Notification bell, essential if you want to keep up with the videos that I do and whatnot. In any event, if there's nothing else that anyone wants to add to this, we are going to move on and go ahead and close this. So again, next week, we're going to talk about chapters 13, 14, and 15. And if you want to know the titles, Chapter 13 is the brain. Chapter 14 is the sixth sense. And chapter 15 is how to outwit the 6 ghosts of fear. So it should be quite nice discussing those. So it would be really nice if everyone brings their questions, comments, and all of that. And let's have a good last hurrah, as next week will be our last book chat for this season. So that's it for me. Remember, change your mind, change your pocketbook. This is Ruth Agbeloso, and I am out. Have a good night, morning, or what have you, depending on where you're watching from. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye, Lane. Have a good night. Everybody have a good night or morning or whatever. Take care, hon. Bye. All right. I don't know why it never wants to shut off when I want it to shut off. But thank you so much for coming on. Thank you. You too, Lane. Have a blessed night yourself. I'm trying to end this, and it won't end for some weird reason. Bye, Facebook. Thank you for watching the replay. If you're on here watching the replay, thank you so much for your support.